All right, guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the Patreon page. We're going to do another audio upload. I'm on a walk with Luna, and it's somewhat dark. There's no point of recording when you can't really see me. So we're going to do a quick audio upload. I want to talk about ginseng. This is something that I haven't really talked about in the past very much. It's something that I want to start talking a lot more about. However, I've put ginseng through rigorous tests, and I can say without a shadow of a doubt that it is one of the greatest adaptogens within the traditional Chinese medicine system. Within TCM, also known as traditional Chinese medicine, there are something known as the superior herbs or the tonic herbs. There's about 27 to 30 of these, and they are considered some of the most potent herbs within the traditional Chinese medicine system. They're considered the superior class of herbs, folks, this 27 to 30 particular compounds, because they're not only medicinal, but they're safe enough to take every day. In fact, I encourage you to find some tonic herbs and consume them daily. Experiment with them. See which ones work best for you, because what works for me may or may not work for you. But within traditional Chinese medicine, there's also various other classes of herbs, some that are strictly medicinal. And these particular herbs and compounds you only take in regimented, I don't want to say allotments, but you only take them for a certain amount of time because they're medicines. And medicine, folks, although it can have a very beneficial effect on your system and your immunity and jump-starting certain things, etc., if you take the wrong medicines for too long, they can actually cause damage, because most medicines, although they have the potential to heal, they also have the ability to toxify, etc. Some of these compounds, in particular herbs, ladies and gentlemen, aren't necessarily safe enough to be considered foods. I hope that makes sense. So the tonic herbs is one of the solutions to this. Things like reishi. Reishi is a tonic herb. Chaga is a tonic herb. In fact, reishi within the traditional Chinese medicine system is referred to as the queen of mushrooms, and chaga is referred to as the king of mushrooms. And these two mushrooms are two mushrooms that I've talked about for years and years and years because they are incredibly potent. For instance, chaga, folks, repairs DNA. Reishi does as well. Reishi, also known as lucid ganoderma, has a handful of potent healing capabilities, folks. It also has a strengthening effect if you take the right reishi. A lot of the reishi on the market, these powders, etc., it's garbage, however. I know what reishi makes you feel like, and a lot of the rishis on the market don't make you feel that way. So reishi is incredible. It's a tonic herb. What's another great tonic herb? Long gone fruit. Lycium, also known as wolfberry, or what most people refer to as the goji berry, which is actually a relative of the pepper plant, believe it or not. That is a tonic herb. Gynostemma pentaphyllum is a tonic herb. This is also referred to heavily as jiaogulan, or poor man's ginseng. So, ginseng has what's known as ginsenosides in it. It's where some of the healing capabilities of ginseng come from. Certainly not all of them. But gynostemma has something very similar to gypenosides, I got that totally backwards. Ginseng contains ginsenosides. Gynostemma pentaphyllum contains something very similar known as gypenosides. I believe I'm getting that word right. So that's essentially why it's known as miracle grass or poor man's ginseng. It's because it has certain qualities to it that ginseng has. However, guys, between ginseng and gynostemma, ginseng is remarkably more potent. Gynostemma is very good for reducing cortisol, circulating stress hormone, etc. It has a handful of beneficial compounds in it that slow and retard the aging process. This has been proven time and time again. But ginseng does as well, and ginseng's a more mature plant, and ginseng will give you about 1,000 times more energy than gynostemma will. In fact, gynostemma really isn't that much of a pro-energy herb, although it's advertised as having double directional qualities, which means that it'll give you energy when you need it, and it'll also promote rest when you need it. I find that gynostemma, although I keep it in my medicine cabinet, folks, I don't prefer it compared to ginseng. So ginseng's just incredible, folks. But many people take gynostemma because of the high price of quality ginseng. Although nowadays the Prince of Peace brand, the Royal King brand, the Imperial Elixir brand, there's various. You can buy ginseng vials that have panax ginseng or Changbai Mountain ginseng in it. And these are made from 6-year-old roots. You can get a 30 count of these for about $24, and you just take one every day. And so ginseng, I mean, a 6-year-old ginseng root obviously hasn't reached what's known as heaven grade ginseng, which is mature ginseng roots that have aged for a prolonged period. As ginseng ages, folks, it matures on a physical level, on a spiritual level, etc. And as the plant, the root, etc., matures, it develops stronger ginsenosides. The adaptogenic qualities of ginseng skyrocket as the roots age and age and age. But a 6-year-old root, even though it's relatively immature and young, still has incredibly potent yang qualities, pro-energy qualities, especially the red panax ginseng. That's my favorite. The American ginsengs are much more cool. The stuff that grows in Wisconsin, etc. It doesn't give you the same amount of energy, and it does not work on the sexual and reproductive systems like panax ginseng. Red panax ginseng is the best in my opinion. It's incredible. So, aside from the fact that it can drastically improve your health and your energy levels and increase your potential lifespan, ginseng, it also, folks, if you take the right variety and preferably in an extracted form, red panax ginseng will improve your sex life dramatically. It is a very potent aphrodisiac to the point where it can be a little distracting, if you will, because it increases your libido to such an extent. Now, not to get into too many details, I'm just going to list this off rather quickly, but this is true regardless, folks, so again, I'm not trying to be too personal here, but it is what it is. Ginseng has been proven time and time again, folks, red panax ginseng or the Changbai Mountain red panax ginseng to increase the girth and length of the penis, the male reproductive organ. It just does. It's one of the most effective things for doing so. It's also one of the most effective things for naturally treating erectile dysfunction. Ginseng increases confidence, folks. And when you have more confidence, you're more confident in bed, right? You're more confident with your self-image, etc. But ginseng also, one of its greatest healing capabilities, folks, is its ability to effortlessly increase circulation. And when you get more blood to your extremities, they work better. Catch my drift? It's not necessarily that ginseng is actually making the male reproductive organ bigger. It's increasing circulation to the entire body, which means better blood flow, means bigger erection, larger genitals. Catch my drift? So in China, in many parts of China, they have ginseng commercials that come on that are their like equivalent to Viagra commercials. It's used as a natural Viagra in many parts of Asia. It's also used by healers. It's also used by the death defiers, those who are seeking to drastically elongate their lifespan beyond the normal human capability or capacity. I mean, the alchemists have been using ginseng for hundreds and hundreds of years. In fact, ginseng's been used for thousands of years, folks. It's been used for thousands of years. It makes your body stronger. It makes your will stronger. It's an incredible root. That's why in many parts of Asia, ginseng statues are found in people's homes. It's a huge part of their tradition. And so are things like reishi, schisandra, the 5 favored berry, wu wei jia. Sweet, sour, salty, pungent, and bitter. That's why schisandra is so effective. It works on all of the flavors, which means that it stimulates all 5 major organ systems within the traditional Chinese medicine system. We've gone over how this works and why. We've gone over, the lore, etc. of schisandra in the past, so I'm not going to get into it in this video. It's an incredible compound, folks, ginseng. And what's the matter, Luna? The extract is what you're going to want. So I would suggest just getting some Prince of Peace, if I can speak today, ginseng extract vials, the 400 milligram ones. Start with that. Get used to a low dose and then climb the ladder. They make extracts that go up to like 5,000 and beyond, 5,000 milligrams, which is over 5 grams. But start small, you guys. Sometimes all you need is a 400 milligram vial of ginseng to have incredible strength and drive all day. And the adaptogenic qualities are remarkably potent. So if you suffer from like chronic fatigue and you drink coffee and you think that, well, I don't know what's going on, why isn't the coffee working and all this other stuff, folks, give ginseng a shot. Give it 2 weeks. Use an extract. Don't use raw powdered ginseng. It simply doesn't work very well, folks. Use that in tandem with the extracts. There's a great tea that the Prince of Peace brand makes. It's a reishi ginseng tea. I'll put a link in the description box if I remember. If I don't, just message me or leave a comment on this thread and I'll link you the particular product. There's a tea made by Prince of Peace that has reishi. It's got 2 different types of ginseng. It's got epimedium in it, also known as horny goatweed, and it's got some licorice. This is a remarkably potent formula. I don't suggest using this by itself in regards to using it for the ginseng. I would use an extract in tandem with this. This particular formula has a very well-sourced reishi in it, and you can feel the reishi when you take this particular formula. It's like $23 for 48 tea bags. It goes a long way. Cheap, effective, very potent. Tonic herbs. It's got ginseng in it, folks, as well as just regular panax ginseng. So there's various different forms of ginseng. There's white ginseng, there's black, there's red. There's extracts, there's non-extracted, there's ginseng candies, ginseng drinks, etc. Just get yourself an extract, 400 milligrams to start with. That's what I'd suggest. Take it every day on an empty stomach when you wake up and watch the changes. You're going to notice that your body becomes stronger, that your bones feel stronger, that you just feel more comfortable in your body. It's a beautiful thing, folks. There's a reason why ginseng, for thousands of years, has been regarded as one of, if not the most potent healing herbs on the planet. It's a huge part, like I said earlier, of Asian culture. There's a reason why. These people know what's up. You don't hear about ginseng in the West, do you? There's some people that talk about it. There's many people that take it here. But it's not a cultural icon like it is to the, other parts of the world. Coffee, although I love it, caffeine, doesn't come close to the power of ginseng. But here in the West, we talk about coffee. Oh, America runs on Dunkin'. America runs on coffee. Oh, caffeine. Well, unfortunately, caffeine does not contain anywhere near the amount of adaptogenic qualities as simple ginseng, folks. It just doesn't. We can argue about it all day, but it doesn't. Caffeine really, it's a means to an end. It's an effective tool, but if you use caffeine too much, you're going to deplete your adrenals. You're going to overstimulate your fight or flight, So you want to round things over. Don't just take coffee or caffeine and green tea by itself. Take a little ginseng in there, you guys. Caffeine is very synergistic with ginseng. It works very well together, and it improves when you improve the circulation, when you drink coffee or caffeine, the whole experience is going to be better, you guys. So for over 10 years now, I've promoted taking your morning tea ritual or your coffee ritual and supercharging it. Put your ginseng in with it, folks. Put your spirulina, put your amino acids. Just experiment. Become an experimenter. Through experimenting, that's the only way you're going to find out what works for you, you guys, because health is not a one-size-fits-all. Our genes are different. Some of us can handle things that others can't. Some people can eat foods that cause other people to swell up. So you've got to do some experimentation. Luckily, ginseng is very, very friendly, and it, for the most part, responds very well to people's systems on a mass level. And I think that's also why it's such a part of Asian culture. It's because this root is very benevolent to people. It helps people gain strength. This particular root, ladies and gentlemen, was used by ancient emperors to increase strength, similar to how Genghis Khan used Sistanch. And now many of the herbs that were reserved for only the elite classes of people hundreds and hundreds of years ago, we can access those by simply buying them online. Use herbs like you're a king, like you're a queen. Have a little respect when you take these compounds, folks. These are very powerful tools that at one point in time, only the elite of the elite, like the Yellow Emperor, consumed. But we take things for granted here in the United States, don't we? It's disgusting. We take everything for granted. Throwing dishes out with food on them, wasting things. It's insane here. We're a very backwards culture. Ginseng can help you get your mind right, folks. It just can. Most of the adaptogenic herbs do. They actually work on your mind and your body. It's not like it just works on your body. So things like reishi, properly sourced quality reishi, like the reishi found in that ginseng formula from Prince of Peace, That's going to help you get your mind right as well. The tonic herbs have a capability. I've been talking about them for years, and I haven't shut up because they work so well. They round things over, folks. And what I mean by that is they help. They take the rough edges and they sand them down. They help you become more confident. They increase your strength. They increase your circulation. They increase the amount of minerals moving through your system, right? So these compounds exist in God's kingdom because we are designed to be in tandem with God's kingdom. We interact with it by consumption. This massive garden that we live in has many mysteries. We're supposed to be consuming the roots, the herbs, the teas. We're supposed to be learning from the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, the flora and the fauna, the stars. This is a backwards system here, guys. It's a nightmare. It's a total mess. And it's a total mess largely because we don't have our nutrition dialed in. We just don't. And anyone who thinks that they've got it all figured out is a fool. Because I've been chiseling away at this thing for over, 12, 15 years now. And I'm still learning things. So we've been domesticated and taken out of our original environment. And we've been put in this matrix grid, folks, with concrete roads and all this bullshit and all this nonsense. And I'm not saying that I don't love certain parts about it because the matrix does have some convenient things. But folks, we are living a false identity. We've been domesticated out of our natural environment, and that's why people don't forage their own food. I think you catch my drift. I'm not going to get into some huge spiel here, guys. But ginseng, panax ginseng is very yang. It's got heat to it. It's very assertive. Helps you get the wheels moving. It's pro-energy. But unlike many other forms of energy drinks and things like that here in the United States, it doesn't deplete you like those things. Most supplemental or synthetic stimulants, things like Ritalin, Concerta, things like even like solbutamine, even though I love it, or phenylparacetam, these work very well, but they more often than not give you energy at the expense of taking something else. See what I'm saying? So you get a shot of energy, but when it wears off, you feel drained. Whereas ginseng, it's smooth energy through the day, and it's nowhere near as strong as something like phenylparacetam in regards to its, stimulatory effect on your rest cycles. That was kind of a word soup. What I mean by that is when you take ginseng consecutively, you'll be able to fall asleep on it, and you'll actually get much deeper sleep. Many people take ginseng before they sleep. That's not something that's talked about very much here in the United States because most people think that ginseng is just like this stimulant that's going to keep you up. But the more you take it, the more your body gets used to it, you will be eventually able to fall asleep on it. And when that happens, folks, your rest is also going to improve. So, people say, what about solutions, Brandon? You're always talking about the problem. Well, that's not true for one, but you got to talk about the problem to be able to fix them, right? But we offer solutions. You have low energy, you feel like your health is lacking, then lean on ginseng, lean on the tonic herbs. Make things like samgatan, ginseng soup. Here in the United States, when people get sick, they have what? Well, they used to, before all this COVID nonsense and all this crap, they used to make chicken noodle soup like grandma, right? Get yourself a chicken, you boil the bones, or you cook the chicken. Then you take the cooked bones, put them in some distilled water preferably. You throw some spices in there, some other stuff, and you boil those bones down to pull the glycine and the amino acids out of the bones. That's what gives bone broth its health benefits, is preferably the amino acid glycine, which is in abundance in bone, like animal bones, right? Bone marrow, etc. When you cook bone broth, you're pulling a lot of the amino acids, the glycine, out of the bones. And that's why it's so effective for leaky gut syndrome. It's because of the glycine. Glycine helps heal leaky gut. But you take your spices, take your bones, you cook it down, you add your, long story short, you know how to make a pot of soup. But, over in parts of China, they have what's known as ginseng soup or samgatan. Usually, I think it even has some astragalus root and some other stuff in there. They use the tonic herbs in their cuisine a lot. So there's just so many differences between the United States and other parts of the world. Other parts of the world, you guys, have their nutrition dialed in so much better. And that's why on the statistical level, you see certain cultures far exceeding in regards to their lifespan in comparison to places like the United States. Like places like the South, where the health is just statistically embarrassing. It's because all the fried food and the crap people eat, but that's commonplace in the United States everywhere. So if you go into a 99 Ranch supermarket, which is a Chinese or Asian-based supermarket, there's a chain here in California and all across the United States. You walk in, folks, and there's aisles of herbs. There's aisles of different teas. Ginseng, tonic herbs, schizandra. I mean, it's a totally different experience. You go into a Safeway, and it's like there's nothing there that's of value other than some of the stuff in their produce department, in their meat department, guys. It's just so much different. So from a cultural perspective, other parts of the world they've mixed their health routines into their culture. And there's certain archetypal symbols within those cultures for their health, things like reishi, things like ginseng. You know, in many parts of Asia, folks, reishi mushroom is hung as a flag, the symbol of it, as a symbol of enlightenment. You don't see shit like that here. You don't see all the dragons and the cool architecture here in the United States like you do in parts of China or Taiwan, etc., or Korea. But here we think we've got it all figured out, right? Oh, the United States, most powerful army, we got everything. No, we're fat, sick, and nearly dead here, folks. We've become drunk on the decadence of taking things for granted, and that's what we do here in the United States, and that's why I believe that we will eventually fall, and it's not going to be pretty, but you're going to want to be ready for that as well, so you need to increase the strength of your body, the strength of your will, the strength of your mind. So whether it's ginseng, whether it's gynostemma, whether it's snow lotus, whether it's long gone, whether it's eucommia bark, whether it's Indian bread, I don't care what it is. Start working with one or more of the tonic herbs. Find an herbal ally. Ginseng is undeniably one of my most potent herbal allies. But we also have our entheogenic allies, right? Those we're not going to talk about in this video. But we follow in the footsteps of the shamans. We follow in the footsteps of the medicine men. We follow in the footsteps of the death defiers. Those who push the envelope, those who have in the past, and those who continue to do. Folks, we are in a very magical kingdom here. There's a lot of mysteries. There's a lot that we're being kept from, if you catch my drift. A lot of very important things. One of the greatest mysteries of all time is the human body, folks. And I'm here to tell you right now that here in 2022, as we inchworm our way to 2023, we have not got the human body even close to figured out. We don't. People want to say, oh, you know, we don't know anything about the ocean, bro. We don't know anything about like space and all the stars, man. But we're going to figure it out. We're humans. No, we haven't figured our own brain out, guys. Our brain is one of the most complicated things in the universe. It's the brain of God. We are extensions of the divine, folks. Our body is a miracle worker. It's a time traveler. It's a hyper-dimensional spacesuit that we're supposed to experience God's kingdom through. It's a electricity. It's like how would I explain it, you guys? It's an antenna for divine cosmic energy. Enlightenment takes place through Kundalini. Kundalini is a genetic process that is in our body. It's also in our subtle bodies. It's in our soul. It's in our shadow. There's a mechanism within us that can awaken this. You see, God's original design was for us to be in this garden experiencing Christ consciousness. Christ consciousness is the consciousness that an individual experiences with their Kundalini awakened. It's beyond the average person's ability to comprehend because there's no reference point to these states of higher consciousness. We've talked about this in the past, so I'm not going to get into some huge spiel about it, folks. But let's just say that we've been sold a bill of goods. We talk about this often because it's true, but it's really important that you grasp this. It's very important that you grasp this. So the problem, one of the biggest problems here in the United States is that we as a culture, we think we've got it figured out and we don't. There's a lot of ego in the cultural hive mind here in the United States. It's worldwide as well, but I'm focusing on the USA because I live here. Our culture is fucked. Our culture is fucked, folks. You can say what you want about it and try to salvage the nonsense out of it. But our culture is fucked. Luna, what's going on with you? Hold on, guys. Luna's got something on her foot. All right, I'm going to pause. All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. Luna looked like she had like a thorn in her foot or something. I don't remember where we left off. I think we were talking about the decadence of culture and like how our culture's fucked. And it's fucked because we don't take care of... Here's the thing, you guys. We don't take care about our health at all. We're very selfish here. And our leaders, our authorities, don't promote anything of quality. And this has been going on for 50 plus years. And after generation and generation of this, most people just don't have a clue anymore because our leaders have promoted nothing but debauchery. They've destroyed this country and they've shut us off from gnosis. There is an agenda to all of this, folks. I'm not saying that all the politicians in government are aware of the fact that there's an agenda to shut off higher consciousness because most of these people are brain dead and retarded beyond belief. Excuse me for using that word, but it's true. But there is an overarching agenda. There is an inner circle here that knows what they're doing, and they are the ones that are moving the chess pieces on the cosmic chessboard. They are shutting human beings off, quite literally. We are an organic battery. And when this battery is charged, it can move that charge through our cerebral spinal system. This is known as Kundalini, and when that charge gets into the cerebral spinal system, it awakens all of the pylons, also known as chakras, that exist within the cerebral spinal system. They exist outside of it as well, folks. When Christ consciousness or Kundalini gets into the head, just like that Bible tells you, in the blink of an eye, everything changed. The kingdom of God is much closer than we realize, but we're looking outside of ourselves for it instead of within us. Our body is the antenna tool that tethers us to Christ through Kundalini risen, and through Christ we know God. It's that simple. We have a software within us that we're supposed to, function off of, but we don't function off of it anymore because we've been completely separated from it. So part of my mission in life is to try to get people back on track towards that state of purity. I mean, fuck. Come on, guys. Like, when are we going to get it figured out? Because our rulers aren't going to do it for us. They're not. They're beyond dead to me. It's like they don't even exist at this point. Our rulers don't care about us. In fact, their job is to fist fuck the country into utter serfdom. So the real key to health is to become selfish and just learn to say no. You've got to take power into your own hands and learn to shut off or block off the world, because the world is a trap, folks. I'm not talking about nature. I'm not talking about the shamanic garden that we live in, which is the real Eden, Tara. I'm talking about the matrix. It's a trap. It's a trap. That's what I'm referring. When I say don't be of this world, I'm talking about the matrix. You can be in this world, but not of it, folks. So the culture is like a mirror that I use. It's a reflective surface, if you will, where I look at my reflection and say, how would I explain this? I use culture as a rubric to wherever they go, I go the opposite direction. See what I mean? So get some of your power reestablished, folks. Take your power back. People say that a lot. Well, how do you do that? Well, you got to put the right things into your body so that it can produce the electrical charge to give you power. Your body is aging rapidly from all the environmental toxins and the brake dust and the crap. Thousands of pounds of aluminum, barium, strontium, mylar fibers, chaff, scalar waves in the atmosphere. Guys, you have got to be on top of your health game just to be able to keep up with the onslaught of toxins coming into your system and into your personal space just from your environment. Catch my drift? Man, I mean, if you're not on filtered clean water, if you're not bathing in clean water, I don't know what to tell you at this point. If you're not taking the adaptogens, if you're not getting the alpha brain in your system, if you have not remineralized yourself, if you are not on a magnesium protocol, guys, the time is now. The time is now. Get yourself some ginseng. Wake that brain up. Get that energy back. When you flood your body with enough of the right nourishment, things like shilajit, etc., your body will become strong, your mind will become strong, and you will see things for what they are. Folks, I got to wrap this one up. May peace be with you all. I can't help but ask myself daily, what the fuck is actually going on here? I have witnessed so many radical changes to this world in the 32 years that I have been here, most of them sadly drenched in evil. The enemy is busy building its empire, a dystopia built upon the ashes of a free world forgotten. AI, surveilled, digitized, genocide, scorched earth, hive mind, drone. We are being led by demons, masquerading as our saviors, an iniquitous oligarchy composed largely, but not entirely, of an elite class of psychopathic technocrats, eugenicists, behavioral psychologists, etc. Operating entirely through subterfuge, this consortium of evil has created a most genius veil of camouflage, enabling them to quite literally pose as a knight in shining armor coalition of humanity's saviors, promising to liberate the masses from the very afflictions that this inner circle of evil gave birth to. Ephesians 6:12, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.